Get comfortable with English and comfort. This is your English listening practice podcast to help you learn and improve naturally.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of English and Comfort, where you learn English by listening to real, everyday conversations. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Mark. I'm glad to be here again today.
Same here. So, Anna, how are your mornings usually like?
My mornings? Well, they're not very organized. Some days are quiet, some days feel rushed. I have a kind of routine, but it's not always the same. Sometimes I wake up earlier than planned, sometimes later. It really depends.
Yeah, I get that. My routine changes too, depending on the day.
Routine. I feel like we are going to use this word a lot today.
That's right. Routine, which is actually our word of the day.
We say routine all the time. Morning routine, daily routine. But what is a routine exactly? It's something you do regularly. Something you do again and again, almost without thinking.
Right, for example, waking up and making coffee every morning. That's part of my routine. Even if I sleep in a bit, I almost always make coffee first.
Or checking your phone as soon as you wake up. That can be a routine too. Some mornings I catch myself scrolling for 10 minutes without even realizing it. It feels like autopilot.
Exactly, and sometimes we don't even enjoy it, but we keep doing it because it's familiar.
Familiar habits can be so strong.
Okay, so now that we covered the word of the day, Anna, what does your morning usually start with?
Honestly, they're very simple. I usually wake up, feel a bit slow, and the first thing I think about is coffee. I don't really think much. I just go to the kitchen and make coffee. Sometimes I spill a bit or forget to add sugar. Little things happen. Sometimes I eat breakfast, sometimes I don't. It really depends on the day. But coffee is always there. That part never changes.
I think a lot of people start their day like that and just coffee and no thinking. I've even woken up, made coffee, and then forgotten it on the counter while I showered.
Yeah, exactly. And I realized something recently. I don't drink enough water, especially in the morning. I think it's easy to forget. I drink coffee, then later maybe breakfast, and sometimes I drink a sweet drink too. But plain water, I almost never drink it in the morning. And then, a few hours later, I feel tired or drained, and I don't really understand why.
Yeah, that used to happen to me a lot too. I didn't really notice it before, but once I did, I couldn't stop noticing it. It's like my energy just disappears around mid-morning. I heard that drinking water in the morning is important because your body doesn't get water while you sleep. So when you wake up, you're already a bit dehydrated.
That makes sense. You sleep for hours and don't drink anything. No wonder we sometimes feel confused.
Right? That's actually why I started drinking warm water in the morning.
Warm water? I've heard about that, but I never really tried it.
Yeah, same. I heard about it for a long time before I actually did it. People say warm water is easier for your body in the morning. It's gentler than cold water, and it helps your body wake up slowly. I don't know all the science behind it, but I noticed something simple. When I drink warm water, my stomach feels better, and I don't feel so heavy or uncomfortable after coffee. Sometimes I even sip the warm water while making breakfast.
That actually sounds nice. Cold water in the morning feels a bit too much for me. I usually just grab a coffee and hope for the best. I thought about doing the warm water thing before, but honestly, I feel too lazy in the morning. I wake up and I just want the easiest thing. And coffee is easy.
Yeah, mornings are not the best time to try very hard. That's why I didn't change everything at once. I just added one small thing: a glass of warm water. That's it. And honestly, it took me a few weeks to even remember every morning. Sometimes I even forget. And some mornings I just skip it and drink coffee first. But when I do drink the water, I really notice the difference.
I like that you say that because when people talk about habits, it always sounds perfect, like they do it every single day. And I know from experience, that's rarely true.
Yeah, real life is not like that.
Real mornings are messy. Sometimes the toast burns, the alarm doesn't go off. It's chaos.
They really are. And I think that's why small habits work better in the morning. If it's too big or too strict, it just doesn't last.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's also why breakfast is a bit random for me. Some mornings I eat something simple, like bread or eggs. Other mornings I just drink coffee and tell myself I'll eat later. And sometimes later never really happens.
Yeah, breakfast can be tricky. I notice that when I skip it completely, I feel okay at first, but then suddenly I'm very hungry.
And that's usually when I reach for something sweet.
Same here. Sometimes it's chocolate or a pastry.
I used to drink sweet drinks in the morning a lot more. Juice, flavored drinks, things like that. They feel refreshing, especially when you're half asleep. But I also noticed something. After an hour or two, I feel even more drained, like my energy just collapses.
Yeah, that happened to me too. Those drinks give you energy very fast, but it doesn't really last.
And then I want more sugar. It becomes this loop.
Right, it becomes a cycle.
Stopping sweet drinks in the morning was actually hard for me. Not because I love them so much, but because they were part of my routine.
Yeah, that's an important point. Sometimes it's not about the drink itself, it's about what feels familiar.
I didn't stop all at once. I just started drinking them less. And sometimes I allow myself one small treat. Some mornings I still want something sweet, and I'm okay with that.
That's a good way to do it. When we tell ourselves never again, it usually doesn't work.
True. It's about balance.
Another thing I noticed in my mornings is my phone. I used to check my phone the moment I woke up. Messages, news, social media, everything at once. It's like my brain jumps straight into work mode before I'm ready. And I didn't really like how that made me feel. It felt like my day started too fast.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Sometimes I don't even remember what I see, but I still feel tired after.
Exactly, so now I try to wait a little. Not a long time, just until after water or coffee.
That actually sounds doable. Waiting a little feels easier than stopping completely.
That's how I think about it too.
You know what I'm noticing while we're talking? All these small things sound simple, but together they actually change how the morning feels.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And sometimes I notice small improvements, like my mood is better, or I'm not rushing so much. I remember a time when I tried to follow a perfect morning routine. You know, those videos: wake up early, drink water, exercise, plan your day, eat perfectly, all before 7 a.m.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I tried doing all of that at once. And honestly, it felt like too much pressure. Every morning felt like a checklist. And if I missed one thing, I felt like I failed the whole routine.
That sounds exhausting.
It really was. And after a few days, I stopped everything. I think that's why people quit habits. They start with too much.
Yeah, it turns mornings into a test. So, if you could choose one habit to add now, what would it be?
Exercise, or at least moving my body. It sounds good, but in the morning it feels hard. Your body feels heavy.
I don't really exercise, but I do some stretching. Just a few minutes. Does that count?
Of course it does. Stretching is a great start. Even 2 or 3 minutes can wake your body. It wakes your body gently.
That's why I like it. It doesn't feel like a punishment.
right? What about you? Any habit you want to add?
Planning. Some mornings I feel lost. I want to do too much. And then I stop. Sometimes I don't even know what's most important.
Yeah, that's very common.
I think writing a small to-do list could help. Nothing big.
I agree. Writing things down helps, even just while drinking coffee.
And don't you feel like some pressure leaves your chest once you write things down?
Yeah, it feels lighter. And sometimes I even add small reminders for myself. The key is keeping the list doable
Maybe 3 small things.
and remembering that plans can change.
True. But even then, writing what you think should be done today helps.
It gives the day direction.
Not control, just direction. Don't you also think about how different mornings feel during the week? And on weekends?
Oh yeah, they feel completely different.
Weekday mornings usually feel rushed. There's always something waiting: work, messages, responsibilities. Even before I get out of bed, my mind is already busy.
Right? There's pressure. You're not just waking up. You're preparing yourself to perform.
That's a good way to say it. But weekend mornings feel softer. Even if I wake up early, there's no rush.
Yeah, time feels wider.
I don't look at the clock as much. I don't think, I'm late. I just wake up.
And that changes everything. I think one mistake people make is trying to use the same morning routine every single day.
Like one routine should fit all mornings.
But life doesn't work like that.
Some mornings need structure, other mornings need rest, and both are okay.
That's really important to say. A slow morning doesn't mean you're lazy. It might mean your body needs recovery.
I used to feel guilty on weekends. If I didn't do enough in the morning, I felt like I wasted the day.
Yeah, I felt that too.
But now I see it differently. Resting is also doing something.
Exactly. Rest is part of balance.
So maybe instead of one strict routine, we can have flexible routines.
I like that idea. Flexible. Like having a weekday routine and a weekend routine. Not something strict you can't change.
Or even just listening to yourself and asking, what kind of morning do I need today? That question alone can change everything. And also one more thing that can really change how you feel about mornings.
What is it?
Realizing that a bad morning doesn't mean a bad day,
That's a powerful thought.
right? Because when a morning goes wrong, everything feels heavy. You wake up late, you skip breakfast, you feel rushed, nothing goes as planned. And then your mind says, today is ruined.
Yeah, that thought comes very quickly.
But it's not true. A bad morning is just one part of the day, not the whole story.
Exactly, the day still has many hours left.
Once I understood that, mornings stopped feeling like a test.
That's important. If mornings feel like a test, you start the day already stressed.
And stress makes everything harder. Now, even if my morning is messy, I tell myself, okay, let's continue.
I really like that mindset. It gives you permission to move on.
Yes, no punishment, no negative talk, just adjusting and continuing.
I think that's how habits actually last when we stop judging ourselves for small mistakes.
Being kind to yourself is part of a healthy routine too.
Listening back to all this, I think the most important thing we learned today is that a healthy morning routine should never feel too much.
Yeah, small habits make the difference.
Staying hydrated, eating something simple, moving your body, planning gently.
All small things. But together they can really change your day.
Now, before we finish, let's go over some words and phrases we used in today's episode. Routine. It means something you do regularly. For example, my morning routine is simple. Rushed. This means when everything feels fast and stressful. For example, my morning felt rushed. Familiar. It means something you know well. For example, checking your favorite show is familiar. Drained. This means very tired, with no energy. For example, I felt drained after skipping breakfast. Dehydrated. It means when your body needs water. For example, after sleeping, I was dehydrated. Messy. This means not organized. For example, my desk was messy this morning. Reach for. It means to choose something quickly. For example, I reached for coffee before breakfast. Half asleep. This means not fully awake yet. For example, I was half asleep and spilled water. Cycle. It means something that repeats. For example, the sugar cycle is hard to stop. Doable. This means something that feels possible. For example, stretching for 5 minutes is doable. Checklist. It means a list that feels strict. For example, my morning checklist was too long. To-do list. This means a list that helps you plan. For example, I wrote a to-do list for today. That's it for today's episode about my healthy morning routine.
Did you find this episode helpful? If yes, give it a like.
We'd love to hear from you. What's one small healthy habit you do in the morning?
Share with us in the comments.
For more English listening practice, interesting topics, and conversations that help you boost your English and improve your speaking, subscribe to English in Comfort.
Thank you for spending time with us. Keep practicing, keep improving, and take care, everyone.